Welcome to this third capsule of the interview series. I'm Ajoy Basu. I'm dwelling on some special interview points, not the routine ones which most of us are familiar with. This capsule is about the critical post-interview process, the stage of final evaluation where the panel arrives at and conveys the decision about the choice of the appropriate person for the role. I'm bringing to you certain tools which I deploy for quantifying the result of an interviewing process, a single index which speaks about the worth and the appropriateness of the candidate for the organization. Being a professional accountant, I enjoy integrating my numbers orientation with my passion for HR, especially interviewing and performance evaluation. I'm sure you'll enjoy this capsule. Despite planning meticulously and carrying out the interview systematically, you could go terribly wrong in the assignment if the post-interview evaluation is not comprehensive enough, if it's not well deliberated, documented, and validated. In Capsule 1 of this interview series, which related to the pre-interview stage, I had mentioned that we brainstormed to put together a competency matrix which could list anywhere from 25 to 50 competency attributes. When we actually interview the candidate, often we realize that certain other competencies should be factored in for a holistic evaluation of the candidate. For instance, I remember during one interview, I felt that we needed to include practical wisdom or street smartness as a distinct competency for that role, which was not mapped in our matrix at a pre-interview stage. So, in our very important brainstorming session post the interview, I would first insist on validating and editing the competency matrix to make it as exhaustive as possible. In the same brainstorming session, I would also revalidate the weights ascribed to each competency. Each interview is an opportunity that unravels a lot, both about the candidate and the appropriateness of our approach and the composition of the competency matrix. So, after revising the competency list, we also review the weights that we ascribe to each competency. We often feel that a particular weight out of 10 may have been over or understated for the position that we are interviewing. We can revise accordingly after inputs from others on the panel. It is important that for each competency the interviewer posts his or her remarks, thereby justifying the marks allotted. The rationale has to be visible. This particular aspect of documentation I consider to be very important, substantiating your views about a particular competency of the candidate. Also, we capture on the evaluation sheet certain other points which may not be listed in the competency matrix, but are factors that contribute to the personality of an individual. For instance, it could be something about the candidate losing a parent early in life, and how he or she has struggled and succeeded to reach this stage of her life, the resilience. This affects our understanding of the profile of the person. After the marks are awarded and finalized, these other points could be considered, which helps in determining the overall result, especially when there are other candidates with rankings on technical sides and skill side, which are close to one another. We come to slide 2. We have to award marks out of 10 for each competency. Rather than collecting individual markings from the panel members, I prefer to project the evaluation sheet with the competency matrix on the big screen, discuss, debate, deliberate, and then award marks. Sometimes I allot marks and then roll out the discussion with the others on the panel. For select technical points not within my domain, I would leave them blank, filling them up after the experts have opined. This, I have discovered, becomes a very participative, considered and a validated process of awarding marks in respect of each competency. You can now see on the screen the evaluation sheet, the competency matrix now filled up. It's more than a sheet, it's actually a workbook. If you go down below, you have the report, you have the evaluation matrix, and then for each candidate a separate sheet. We'll just get into it, we'll just breeze through it, it's a glimpse. But you'll get a good idea about how this mechanism operates. So I'll take for candidate A So you have the position of accounts, finance and compliance head. The panel is given here, and face to face the panel was Ajoy Basu and Mr. X, the HR director. The project round, which had CEO, I was there, Ajoy Basu, and the HR director. The CTC details have been masked, have not been stated. The name of the candidate has not been stated. We have put it as A. Then we have the serial number. We have 32 competencies here for this particular position. We have the weights ascribed from 1 to 10, which is down here right up to the end. We have the competencies which have been finalized, which we believe need to be evaluated upon for the candidate. And then we have ascribed the marks. This through brainstorming we have discussed, and inter se arrived at conclusion that these are the marks that need to be awarded. So we have the remarks giving the basis on which the marks have been awarded. Becomes pretty transparent and justified that way. We also have the other points which you have gathered during the interview. Now some of them are personal, so we have put question marks there, obvious reasons. Once this is filled for each candidate, we go to the evaluation matrix. This is where the whole thing is consolidated. So we have identical columns here. We have the weights, the maximum weights, the competencies, and here's where the change happens. We have the candidates A, B, C, and D. Their ages are given so that you have a look. You can correlate with their competencies, and the marks given with the age is given there. So we have mapped all of them together. Then we come right down towards the end, the sum product function. If you see the sum product function here, I put the syntax here. So it is for this particular column, that is H column, I have reproduced the formula used. It is H16 to H47. The H16 is where my competencies start. You can see that. H16 to H47. And that's multiplied. The range is B16 to B47. B16 to B47 are the weights which are ascribed to each of these competency. That gives me 1084 as my sum product. One index which represents the whole gamut of competencies that we have put forward. We have given them weights. We have given marks for each competency. The sum product is arrived at here, 1084. Similarly, 1301, 1341, 1443. And then we have invoked the rank function. The rank function again for this particular candidate, that is candidate D, we have H48. H48 is the sum product that we have. We have the range which is from here to here, E48 to H48, and it returns the rank. So there are 4 candidates, 4 ranks, the 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it's happening in a consecutive sequential manner. And to highlight the one, I have invoked the function of conditional formatting, for which we go to home. I go to conditional formatting, highlight cells rules equal to, and I put 1 here. And I can choose which color I really need to use. If I can use yellow, I can use yellow. If I need to use that, and it gets marked appropriately. So I stick on to the pink with the red on that, the red font, and my choice comes here as A. Friends, that brings us to the end of this capsule. The 3 capsules of this interview series presented so far relate to the panelists conducting the interview. Trust you have enjoyed them. You can also watch these videos on my YouTube channel. I post to the YouTube channel whenever I post elsewhere on any of these social media platforms. It occurred to me as I was shooting this video that I should have one more capsule, at least one, from the perspective of the interviewee, the candidate. I'll soon bring out a video on special points which the candidate could do well to keep in mind and practice to perform. Thank you very much.